Hello Pharma aspirants, welcome back to PharmaAmcharya. In the previous lecture, we discussed about the Phase 4 clinical trials, which is also called the post-marketing surveillance, where the trials are continued even after drug release into the market to check the long-term adverse effects of the drug. Now in this video, we explore various ethical and legal regulations involved in the safety of the trial participants. When we talk about clinical trials, it's not just about science and drug development, but equally about ethics and laws that protect the human participants. Every stage of clinical trial from phase 1 to phase 4 is guided by strict ethical principles and legal regulations to ensure that research is both scientifically valid and morally responsible. The foundation of all modern clinical research lies in international guidelines such as the Declaration of Helsinki, the Belmont Report, and ICH-GCP Good Clinical Practice. These frameworks remind us that patients are not just subjects, but human beings with rights, dignity, and autonomy. The three golden principles we always keep in mind are respect for persons, beneficence, and justice. In phase 1, where healthy volunteers are usually the participants, the ethical focus is on minimizing risk and ensuring full, transparent, informed consent. Legally, regulators demand independent ethics committee approval, strict adherence to GCP, and compensation for any trial-related injury. Moving to phase 2, the participants now include patients suffering from the targeted disease. The ethical challenge here is to make sure participants understand that the treatment is still experimental and not guaranteed. Regulators require trial registration, reporting of adverse events, and continued monitoring of data integrity. In phase 3, trials expand to thousands of patients across multiple centers. Here, ethics play a huge role in deciding how randomization and placebos are used. No patient should be denied effective therapy. To safeguard participants, independent data safety monitoring boards oversee the study. Legally, this is the most crucial stage because the data will be used for marketing approval. Hence, transparency, protocol compliance, and patient safety laws like GDPR and HIPAA must be strictly followed. Once a drug is approved and enters the market, phase 4 or post-marketing surveillance begins. At this stage, ethics demands that companies continue to monitor long-term safety and rare adverse effects in the wider population. The law requires mandatory pharmacovigilance and adverse event reporting to regulators, and if risks outweigh benefits, drugs can even be withdrawn from the market. Transparency also extends to labeling and promotional practices, which must be accurate and not misleading. Across all the phases, the core safeguards remain the same: voluntary informed consent, confidentiality, fair participant selection, a favorable risk-benefit ratio, and compensation for harm. Ethics committees and regulatory authorities act as watchdogs to ensure that clinical trials not only advise science but also protect the lives and rights of the people who make them possible. In short, while clinical trials test drugs, ethical and legal frameworks test our responsibility as researchers and healthcare professionals. Without ethics and law, science cannot move forward in a just and trustworthy way. Thank you.